Hello.
Hello, everyone. Andrew, you look different. What's going on here?
Slightly. The normal rig is not with me right now. So we're doing the a little bit more low tech today. Au natural, whatever you want to call it. I'm actually like recording like an instructional video for my day job, and had to use lights and didn't quite finish shooting, so that stuff is still set up somewhere else as of right now. So this is what
Sweet.
we've got today. So I've
Good to see
got
you in your natural environment. I see musical instruments behind you.
I've
That's quite
got
appropriate.
yeah, I'm trying to yeah, let's see if I can like got a bunch of crap over there. So classical, electric, bass, giant MIDI keyboard, and then electronic drums are down there somewhere, kind of. Yeah. But yeah, that's the normal setup in the bedroom right now. Play as a tune. Oh man. Maybe. We'll see.
I would love to see that. I'm not gonna lie.
My fingers are so cold right now that I would have to warm up for guitar. That's the only thing about the winter that I hate. It was just like in the summer and stuff like that, in the warmer months, I can just be like, yeah, I'll just play guitar real quick and just do whatever. But now it's like I have to kind of like stretch them out and get them warm and do all that kind of stuff. But maybe we'll see. I'll have to. Gosh, I would have to get out some stuff to do that. I usually do one of two things when I'm just like messing around guitar. Just play a whole bunch of stuff from muscle memory. Because I used to play classical a lot, and a lot of the stuff is still kind of in my brain for the most part. And in my it's mostly in my fingers as opposed to my brain, because I don't even think about it when I'm playing. It just goes. I'm like, this feels about right.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I could still mostly read sheet music. It takes me a little bit, but I can kind of do that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I could just play it and hopefully the mic will pick it up, or maybe we can go a little off script and I can get Pro Tools running. But we'll see.
Don't you have your
Added.
voice? Don't you have your voice going through like a door and stuff already?
What's up?
Don't you have your voice kind of going through a door
Uh,
and everything? Is that all set up?
oh, so right now the voice is not my voice is not going through Pro Tools actually. It's just doing its normal thing. I haven't used Pro Tools for my voice for a while on this stream. It was a little bit too much of a it was a little bit of a hassle.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, I think I still have a preset somewhere in Streamlabs that has the Pro Tools set up for audio, but yeah, we'll see. I just got some like compressor and noise gate that was built into Streamlabs, I believe, and I just kind of like tweaked it a little bit, and that was it.
And then you have me like on a Discord call.
It sounds fine. I think it sounds absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Nice blue drink there. I saw.
we never have sugary drinks in the house, but I was a little under the weather this earlier this week, so Kelsey was kind enough to pick up some Gatorade, and it's just been sitting in the fridge. I had like half a glass. I'm like, wow, this is way too sweet. I mean, if I need electrolytes, I can just have some salt in my water, I guess. That's not.
I wonder how universal that is. Like we had Lucozade. I don't know if you have Lucozade in the
I don't.
UK. That would sound like when you're sick as a kid. That's
I
what
have no idea what
your
that
mum would get you.
is. How is
It's
that spelled?
um like that, I think.
I have never heard of that. I gotta look it up now.
I think it's a similar thing. It's kind of like an energy drink, but it's been around
Sure.
since before like
Oh, this is old. Wow.
energy drinks. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
think it's just sugar
2000,
water, I think. But
2000 as of 2016, a half-liter bottle contained 62 grams of sugar, more than Coke.
whoa.
What? That is so much. That is like a lot, actually. Wow, 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 wow. In 2017, to avoid the sugar tax, the drink was reformulated to contain roughly what looks like a third of the sugar and added aspartame and something else that I've never heard. So, yeah. Is this not carbonated? Is it just like a flat drink?
No, it's carbonated.
Oh, okay. Gatorade is not carbonated. It's just kind of a
Ah, okay.
like sugary kind of thing. It doesn't have as much sugar as like a normal like carbonated like soda type thing, but
62 grams
is
wow.
incredible. That's crazy. That's a crazy amount. Like I can't imagine drinking something that's that sweet. Like I used to drink like so my uncle up until semi recently worked for Coke for like 40 years. Like 30, 40 years. He drove the trucks basically for delivery.
Mm.
So he always just had so much Coke in the house. And we used to drink a decent amount of Coke when I was a kid because of that. Because whenever we had like cookouts or parties and stuff like that, he would just bring cases of Coke because
Yeah.
he just had them. He had them super cheap. And so my like very, very rarely, very occasionally, I will get myself a vanilla Coke. And everybody hates that flavor except for me, apparently. You can very rarely find it in a grocery store here.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a guilty pleasure, but I don't think I've had a vanilla Coke in like 2 years, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I used to also drink Moxie on occasion.
What's that?
It's like a really old school. I'll have to see if I can find a picture of it. It looks like it's from like the 20s. Drink.
Sounds very 1920s.
Yeah, it's got this picture of this dude like pointing at you. It's kind of funny actually. All right, I'm struggle with. Item just capture. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, it's this guy that's pointing at you. It tastes like halfway between a root beer and toothpaste. I can.
Okay, yeah. So kind of
It
medicinal.
Yeah, it's kind of got like a Bardock kind of, or Burdock rather, not Bardock. Isn't Bardock like a Street Fighter character? I don't know. Something like that. No, it's like Burdock, I think,
Okay.
or
So
something.
we had something called dandelion and burdock.
Yeah. I've had there's like more how would you say it? Like not gourmet, but like artisan soft drink brands in the US who have done like dandelion and burdock and those types of things. I like it personally, but not a lot of people do. Not over here, at least.
Yeah.
But
No, I like the Moxie branding. It's kind of
yeah,
cool.
it's super funny. Like everyone I was just like, yeah, you should try this, and everyone's like, this is terrible. It is an acquired taste, I would say. Anyway, shall we go over patch notes?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. All of my stuff here is like completely turned around because I had to move some things around. So bear with me for a moment while I figure this out. There we go. Very smooth. So we've got patch 420, codename Chime. Big thing that we have done here is we added a new terrain object, which if you look at this lovely GIF that Jason has created here, we I wonder how many people can will know where that animation comes from.
I have
Um,
to apologize to our pixel artist.
I think it's a good application of what this is. This is like kind of like chopping off an arm from one of our robots at one point, I guess.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just kind of spray nozzle now for flame. Uh which it was to begin with, but now it's just slapped into the ground. It works, I think. I definitely think it works.
Yeah, that
Um
stand is like the robot's leg, and then I just kind of kit bashed. Because, for these prototype terrain
yeah,
objects, we don't go through the whole process of having like concept art and actual custom pixel art animation done. So we just cobble
correct.
together what we can. So this is what we got.
Yeah, I mean, I think it works. But yeah, so this new terrain object essentially spawns in a basically a switch that your characters can step on during the movement phase, and it is linked up to this essentially a flamethrower. Is what we're showing it as right now. Linked up to a flamethrower on the other side of the battlefield on your opponent's side, and it will basically do damage to an enemy column. So what happens is your character will jump on it, it will trigger, and then the switch will go dormant until that character goes to another tile during like the movement phase. So basically, the switch will figure out whether or not a character like basically started their turn on that tile, and it'll turn back on. So
Yep.
with some careful positioning and maybe some movement manipulation, you can actually press actually press that button quite a few times. Uh, but yeah, so it does elemental damage, and it'll hit everyone in that column. So depending on
It's pretty powerful. Like it's probably OP right now.
yeah, it's probably OP for now, but that makes it fun, right? So
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, this is really like depending on the layout of the battlefield, you might see this in a certain column that otherwise would be advantageous to be in. So, for example, like behind half cover, or it might be, near health spawn or something like that. So this kind of like counteracts that slightly. And this also kind of works in the favor of people who are going up against, column-based strategies.
Mm.
And this is a very good way to kind of get around that, because usually the column-based strategies are very hard to pick apart, especially if you have melee-based characters on your team, because generally most column-based strategies revolve around usually the warrior and Shio working in tandem to defend plus get some damage in from sentinel stance. So unless you have a ranged team composition, that's really hard to pick apart. So this might make an enemy think twice about where they're going to be setting up their column. They might have to make some compromising choices in order to still have that column work.
Yeah, exactly. If they find themselves in that column, they have to
Yeah.
really get out of there quickly, because it's pretty significant damage.
How much is it right now? Is it 10 damage, or is
I think
it
it's 10 base damage, so it might do
okay?
8 or 12 or even potentially more than that, depending on exactly who's standing in the way.
Yeah, don't put the berserker in there. That would be
No.
that would be horrifying for them.
And that's kind of equivalent to a lot of the big focus attacks, actually, in terms of damage output. So
The AoE ones, yeah.
Mm.
Definitely. So it's not something to ignore. I would not ignore this terrain object as of right now. So, and again, this is all just testing for the most part. Like this type of object really opens the door to other things that are interactable within within the battlefield. So some may be more or less dramatic than others. Some might be more appropriate for a single player experience, where you know, the balance doesn't have to be symmetrical necessarily.
Mm.
Um, so, but this is trying to figure out like what we can do, what is fun, what's interesting, and yeah, if it ends up not being in the multiplayer, that's probably fine. But this allows us to mess around with just this type of effect.
Yeah, it's the first object I think which is like a remote trigger, I suppose, and we could
Yeah.
imagine a whole bunch of other objects with a similar mechanism, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Like stuff that comes to mind is like you know, stepping on a switch that moves a tile of half cover or something like that, either on your side or the opponent's side. So you can like shift it back and forth or something like that to open up an opponent's defenses or something.
Mm.
So there's a lot of things that you can do. Or you know, there's other stuff where it could be like a one-time effect that does a lot of damage, but in order to make your way through like a certain boss, you have to make sure that when you do want to step on that, the the big bad boss is in the right zone, so they'll take the most damage or something.
Yeah, and there are various ideas that are still floating around, like what if this moved? Like what if the switch moved? So we'd be really
Yeah,
interested in folks' feedback on how this works or how we could run with this idea and either fix it if it's too OP or just have different variations on the same theme. It's
yeah,
very very experimental, I would say.
yeah. We were messing around with the idea of like either the flame trigger moves or like the actual like what column that the flame targets moves every time, or where the switches moves every time. You know, it's both of those ideas are interesting.
Yeah,
So
and they may be more applicable to different kinds of objects. Like at first, I think having the switch move seemed like a really natural thing, but one factor is if the switch moves, it's actually easier to keep triggering it because you
oh,
don't have to move
definitely.
your character off. So that would maybe make it even more powerful the way it works right now. But yeah, there are many variations we could look into, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so yeah, if anybody has any suggestions and stuff like that, I think this might have been suggested, like something where you could jump on it to trigger something. I don't remember if it was or if it wasn't, but you know, we always like to see different ideas. You know, probably eventually, if people keep on asking for it, we'll do it. So,
Yep.
in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, so.
Cool.
But yeah, that's it for the patch this week. So, um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the back end right now, actually. So exciting stuff. We've got some fun meetings this weekend that will push things. Some creative stuff happening.
Yeah, things are kind of accelerating a bit behind the scenes, so that's good to see.
But yeah, so all right, we've got a few minutes before we hit 2 o'clock. If anybody's in the chat, feel free to talk about whatever. Lucasade. Anything.
So I started a new RPG campaign
Oh
today. In
yeah,
fact. Yep.
cool, cool.
So we're doing Scum and Villainy. If you ever looked at that.
It sounds very familiar.
So it's kind of like
Is this like Cowboy Bebop?
yeah, like Cowboy Bebop or Firefly or
Gotcha. Okay.
Star Wars, like Han Solo, kind of Guardians of the Galaxy kind of thing.
I see
It's that
someone
whole
with
deal.
magic here. Is this like
There's
is
like
this like
there's like a Force analog, which I feel like all these games have.
okay. Okay. Oh, this is a Star Wars reference as the title. Okay.
Oh
Right?
yeah, Wretched Hive of Scum and
Of Scum
Villainy.
and
Yeah, yeah,
Villainy? Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is a Star Wars reference. Okay, I understand now. Understand what we're going for.
yeah. So this is a system based on Blades in the Dark. If you ever
Yep.
looked into that, I know I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the whole like little scrappy starship crew premise.
Cool,
So
cool. Nice. This actually might be a decent one. my regular game crew, I think they would take to this pretty quickly, actually. Um,
It's
I'm
nice because you have like a shared, almost like a character sheet for the ship itself,
oh
and
nice.
your like systems and like the different rooms you have and the different resources and upgrades and stuff. So I like these games which have a shared like asset like that, like a home base.
Yeah,
It's
it
always
makes
kind
you
of
feel
cool.
like it's like a I don't know, it gives like a personality to it and like it attaches everyone to at least something.
Yeah.
As opposed to everyone having their separate backgrounds and like you know one of the issues in like some of these role-playing things is that like people don't have enough connections to other characters
Mm.
and players and stuff like that, so like a lot of the decision making is just like how do I advance my character's backstory and force it on other players, basically. um, but this is nice because it gives people like a shared asset that everyone has to care for, and like you know, if things go wrong with the ship, it goes wrong for everybody. So
Yeah, and then in terms of like how you generate XP, there are things like if you like live up to the crew's reputation, things like that, or if you like um embody like the nature of the crew or like the central conflict or drive of the crew, things like that. So it very much incentivizes leaning into like the teamwork and the flavor as well around
that's
who
cool.
your crew's supposed to be. Yeah.
That's I'm going to. Because this is definitely something that I want to look into. Because I've been
So
meaning to get into some to running some role playing stuff, but it just takes a while to prepare your own stuff.
yeah, it's nice as well because it has what a few things games do nowadays, which I really like, is having like a structured like game loop. Um, so there's like a downtime phase with particular kinds of actions you can do. You
Yeah,
know, like working on researching or building things or trying to affect like your level of heat. You know, if you do jobs and they go wrong, you sort of generate heat, and there's like mechanisms for
gotcha.
trying to control that and acquire new things, you know, and upgrades and stuff like that. So it's kind of structured. So it acts as like an engine to generate stuff, and you can almost it doesn't run itself, but you can kind of go through the routine and then add your own flavor and embellishments to it, and that just kind of keeps going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this is definitely really. I
Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday. I didn't even know the Super Bowl was happening until yesterday. So.
And answers that. Meetings, Steamhounds meetings. That's
Yeah, yeah. Steamhounds meeting is Sunday plans. Well, technically, Super Bowl starts after Steamhounds meeting, I believe. So technically, could have done Super Bowl Sunday plans, but nah. I'm like not connected to football at all. Especially not anymore. Uh, I don't know. 10 years ago, I was,
mm,
when the Patriots were starting to become good again. And but now that era is basically over. Because Tom Brady has left, and guess what? Is in the Super Bowl with another team. So I really hope he loses.
devastating. Yeah.
I really hope he loses because we need some new blood in there. I always like it when new people come onto the sports and stuff like that instead of the same people being relevant for like 20 years. That's kind of boring to me.
Mm,
Legacy is good, but when it revolves around almost like a single person, like nah.
yeah, yeah, I get that. So, should we try and get Battle up and running?
Yeah, at least
I'm
we
not.
should at you know, I don't know how many people are in chat right now, but yeah, we can at least get a game up and running to kind of show off this new terrain object. So
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know who was on the chat. Maybe Paul and I might have to
yeah,
jump in and demonstrate quickly.
Yeah, definitely. You two should get in there.
Okay.
Did we unban challenge links at? Is that something that we did?
Yes, that should
Okay,
be
cool.
done. Oh. Okay, I'm grabbing yours, Paul.
Are you both in there now? Yeah, just let me know.
Okay, that didn't work.
Uh-oh. Are we on the test server?
One of us is, maybe. I don't know.
Someone might be on the test. I was have to write myself a note to switch off of the test server.
I think I'm in the right place.
Oh no, Paul.
Okay.
So if Paul just clicks into yours, it should still work.
Yes, yep.
Generated. Public server.
So I put the flame trigger into various layouts in the featured layouts kind of
Okay,
playlist.
cool.
It's not 100% guaranteed that we'll get it, so
We can re-roll.
yeah, we can re-roll if we don't.
Speaking of re-rolling, I have a friend that roped me hard into Diablo 3.
Yeah.
So, gosh, it is ridiculous. I don't know if you're familiar with the end game of Diablo 3.
No. How is it?
It's a lot smoother than the end game of Diablo 2, I'll say that much. In terms of like grinding and stuff like that and getting new loot. Because they have these things called like rifts, which are basically portals that you can go into that are like infinitely randomly generated, and you have to like kill X groups of like, you basically just have to kill like a whole bunch of enemies, including like random of like elite mobs and stuff like that, and eventually once you do that enough, it'll spawn like this big bad boss. Oh, hey Warwick, what's up?
Hey.
And then once it does that, no, that's cool. Yeah. We've got a new terrain object for you to check out. But yeah, the rifts make it relatively easy to like get new drops over and over again, especially like set pieces and stuff like that.
So they've very much like formalized end game grind into, it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna make some spawning repeatable thing that you can just do.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also a thing that you can do. You can go back to different zones within the game, and they give you a little task to do, and that will give you like all of the tasks within a certain act. It'll give you like this chest, which gives you a whole bunch of some other special things, basically. So they give you reasons to go back and do that content as well. Are you guys both in the game right now?
Yep, you should be able to join in.
Get in there. But yeah, the thing that they do is that you can make seasonal characters, and there's more reason to do seasonal characters in Diablo 3 than Diablo 2. And the reason for that is that once you do, they have like a whole bunch of like, not achievements, but like tasks for you to do. And once you do that with your first quote seasonal character, it just gives you like a full set, essentially. So it lets you get into that end game content pretty quickly.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's like some of the sets do some really cool stuff.